Journeys is recorded at Doghouse Studios. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube to keep the conversation going. Remember, if you like the content, like the content. Welcome back to Journeys. Today is Friday, March 25th. I'm Chad Jones, and today with me, one of my oldest friends and dearest friends. You've been You were a maid of honor at my wedding.
Yep.
You're my.
You guys came to my graduation in university.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
That's the first time I met you.
that is.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why. How when was
2015.
that? 2015. Jesus.
7 years.
Jesus. So we've known each other a while then.
Yeah.
And you were also my kids, both of them. I consider you both of their godmother, just like I consider their other godmother both of their godmothers. It's just easier, just like a
It's easier to
thing.
remember that way.
Oh yeah, that way you could just be
Yeah.
like my godsons, and
Yeah.
you have two, and you'd be like, yeah, I
of
do.
course.
It's awesome. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Shreeya?
Yeah, my name is Shreeya. I've known Annette and Chris, well, like we just talked about, since 2015. Both of them together. I've known Annette since high school. We were taking a lot of business classes together. We spent a lot of time together, and just amazing people. And I love, spending time with their family because it's just so cute. And their two boys are just super adorable, and I can't get enough. And I'm super excited to be here finally. We've been trying to do this for a while, and I'm glad that the podcast is back up and running.
Yeah, I'm working on keeping it consistent. 5 days a week is enough. I feel like I don't have to do it every day, get burned out, or just worry about, I missed a day now, and just throw caution to the wind and not care anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it's great to be back. It's great to have you here, and it's great to have a guest. So the first thing I kind of want to steer our conversation in is, again, I'm talking about exercise because I'm trying to do exercise between,
everything else.
Exactly, trying to balance that. So, what for you is the minimal amount of exercise to feel like you've accomplished something in a day?
See, I believe more in routine than in exercise. So, yes, physical exercise is one thing, and, we'll get more into it, but yoga is a thing for me. I don't really do any other form of exercise. I mean, I love going for walks, but that's pretty much it outside of yoga. So I think for me to feel like, quote unquote, I've had a good day or successful day is for me to go through my morning routine, which right now, because I'm back in the office at my new job, is a struggle because it just sucks to wake up early in the morning. But for me, that is my key, point, or hitting that morning routine. That is my good day, or a start to a good day, because I think the way you set up your day is how it's going to play out.
So in that case, what is a successful routine for you?
So for me, again, this stems from, what I've learned through my yoga teacher training. We went through how to set up a morning routine, and I haven't kept all the pieces from it, but the two things that I try to do daily and mostly successful, but, really help me ground in the morning and just start my day off in a good place, is right after I wake up, I like to journal. And right after I journal, I like to meditate. So journaling for me, I think that's something that I've just held on to for the last 2 years. And it's just helped me get through a lot of different things, whether it's happy, sad, anxious, angry, whatever it is. I know that even if there's no one else I can talk to, I have a lot of people in my life that love me, but it's just, sometimes you feel like you just can't say certain things. So my journal is where it goes, and it provides that safe space where I can just write down what I'm feeling and kind of empty those emotions in a sense, or express it and kind of be able to move on. And then the reason I like to do it before I meditate is because otherwise in my meditation, I would just be constantly thinking about those things. So if I can park those thoughts or sort of express them and then go into my meditation, which honestly sometimes is 5 minutes, sometimes is 10 minutes, sometimes is 10 breaths. But it's just that sense of grounding. So those are the two main things for me on a daily basis.
So the journaling and meditation are your big morning starters. Have you are you consistent with it?
pretty consistent. Like I said, I just started a new job, so now I have to be in the office for 9 a.m., which is usually 9:30. Don't tell my boss. But it's for that reason, it's a little bit like all over the place. But honestly, like even if I don't do anything else, I might skip breakfast, but I won't. I will try to get my journaling in and my meditation in.
That's wonderful. Like that is, because I can see that being like an info dump in the morning. Like right away, you're just like everything, just info dump, and you're doing it half awake. So it's almost like that, almost half awake when you're on the tail end, where you're like, yeah. And
it's just like, it helps me find that, I keep coming back to the word grounding, but it just helps me like start my day on that grounded level where I'm not feeling like I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this with other people and sort of recommended journaling. But sometimes people are just like, I don't know what to write about. But you don't have to have, like, I don't wake up with a list of topics and, then I'm going to write about this. I'm going to write about, like,
But sometimes
whatever.
It does take that form. Sometimes you do have precognition. Sometimes you don't. You just kind of go with it,
But it's
right?
just kind of like whatever I'm thinking about in the morning. And if I'm not really thinking about anything, it's just, okay, this is how I slept. If I had any dreams.
I don't think it's in this book, but in my other book.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not in this one either, but in one of my books I was practicing cursive writing as a journaling thing, because as you see, I write in cursive. It's bad, but I do it.
Yeah.
It's just a thing I do.
Yeah.
But I was just practicing and I couldn't think of anything to write, so I just practiced writing penis over and over and over again. And
that's why you were laughing the whole time.
Yeah, because I was like, like when you couldn't think of anything, it's like, I'll just write penis in cursive writing. And it's like the flowing P's go into the, and the S's
for
go.
Anyone who can't think of something to write about, I'll give you 2 ideas.
Okay, let's do something non-nonsensical.
So putting that aside, I'll give you 2 ideas. So one thing that I always like to include, or I've started including in my journaling practice, and I actually started doing it at the beginning of the pandemic when, like we're all in the dumps. It was gratitudes and things that make me smile. Because that, that just sets perspective, and it's humbling too. And I think the second thing, I'll group smile, like what makes you smile and gratitudes together. And then the second things is celebrate your wins, like even if they're small ones. I don't know, waking up on time, like eating breakfast. It doesn't have to be a big thing, like yesterday I submitted a big presentation, or like, clean my entire house. But just celebrate those small little wins for yourself and show yourself that appreciation.
So one thing that I read in a book by this fellow Chris Hardwick, he does the Nerdist everything.
Okay.
Like the Nerdist is him essentially. Yeah. And he wrote a self-help book that was essentially like, you should count those small wins as like XP points, and you make things that are harder, like going to the gym if you don't like going to the gym, or going to work if you don't like going to work, make those worth more. And then after you've gotten so much XP that you put aside as a goal, like let's say you want like 1,000 XP, but something's worth 25.
Yeah.
So like it takes you a long time to grind to that. Once you get there, you can then say, well, now my character's leveled. Well, what do you get when you level in a video game? You get new armor, you get cool new shit. So just get some cool new shit for going to work for like a month straight.
Well, and I think that's just it, is that a lot of us don't take a step back to celebrate the things that we've achieved. I mean, I know that's definitely true for me. It's always chasing like, what's next? Okay, from like a work was a big part of my life for a long time. I mean, it still is, but like I'm trying to balance that out. But for me, it was like, okay, we got this next promotion. We did well here. But like, what's next? And then anything else as well, like what's next? But stay in the moment and celebrate even the smallest of wins, because it's important.
With that, we're going to take a little break. Welcome back. So we are still talking about exercise, and one exercise I've been doing lumosity. That's brain exercise.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
What are you doing to exercise your brain?
To exercise my brain. No, I don't actually think I'm doing anything to exercise my brain like that.
It's a weird concept, right?
Yeah.
But it's something that I've been thinking about where I'm like, this feels like I'm strengthening my mind. Quick little numerical things like, okay, 17 plus 4. It's like, 21. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. But normally that takes me a little while to jump when it comes to carrying of numbers or, just weird things like that. And there's a lot of other things, focusing on certain things, keeping attention.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything that you can even think of in your life that you could start working on exercising your brain?
Well, I think, you just mentioned holding attention, so I default back to like meditation and breathing practices, because, even with breathing, like we can control our nervous system. So for me, I guess that is my form of brain exercise. I'm not doing like mental math 5 minutes a day, so that in that form, that's not happening for me. But I think like, again, bringing that focus in through that meditation and breathing, and it's incredible like how you can control your breath and it can alter like the state of your nervous system that you're in. So
are you at the point where you see your thoughts and they're like fluffy clouds?
Yeah.
Or are you more of like a leaves on a river kind of gal?
Probably leaves on a river type of person. I really just like to focus on my breath, so like counting my breath when I'm in that moment, and then you just let those thoughts like pass by. But yeah, it goes by like so much faster than you might think.
Yeah, like I do 10 minute like a day. I just put a timer down and I'm just like, whatever happens. There's no guided meditation because I don't want to use the data. Or download it on Spotify, because finding something on Spotify that I'm looking for is weirdly difficult.
This is an unpaid plug, but if anyone's interested in like a guided meditation app, there's one for free called Insight Timer, and they have tons of material on there for free. So there's music, there's
not a paid promotion, but if you know someone who knows them, I could use the money.
Yeah. I don't mind.
Yeah, we'll just split it like what 60-40?
Split it, excuse me.
What
yeah. You're providing the outlet. Fine.
I am, yes.
Okay, no. Fine.
I said 60-40.
20-80.
I'll take like $1 of that. Like,
okay.
They're like, yeah, we'll give you money. And you'll just be like, here's a coffee. You can have a coffee. I derailed the conversation with that. But I guess with mental strengthening, meditation is something I find it's obviously something like it's a reset button for my day. Especially because I do 10 minutes and 10 minutes is a significant amount of time to just completely sit there.
Do you prefer like at the beginning of your day or at the end of your day?
When I need it most.
Okay.
It's like a self-prescribed. Okay, right. I'm getting wound up. Time to meditate.
Yep.
So sometimes I'll do it twice. Most days I do it once. Very rarely do I not do it. Just because I always have at least 10 minutes to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the mental exercise. But the physical stuff, you did yoga teaching. You're doing yoga teaching, sorry, but you went for teaching, to learn how to teach.
Yep.
What was like the biggest insight or many, like whatever insights from that you took from that schooling? Yeah,
that whole program, I mean, it's a yoga teacher training program, but it's also a self-development program. So there's a lot of introspective work that goes on through that. And I think the biggest learning from a, introspective point of view for me was really just being okay with feeling how I'm feeling. So that, you know, leads me back to journaling and meditating, is just like recognizing that it's okay to have these emotions and express these emotions. And I think the other thing for me was like boundaries. So those are the two like introspective things, I think, the two big things that I took away. And then from a physical exercise perspective, I think it was and really just the quote unquote flexibility that yoga offers is I don't have to, like, my body does not have to move exactly the same as yours. We don't have to be able to do like headstands to do yoga. You don't have to touch your toes to do yoga. Like, you can bend your knees. It's totally fine. So I think what I love is that it offers so many options and is accessible to everybody. And I think a lot of people kind of get scared with it because their view of yoga is doing handstands. It's doing like extreme back bends or whatever, like extreme things like that. But I don't even, like, I'm not that flexible. Like, I can't do a headstand. But it's something that you work towards to if you want to. So there's so much that you can do in yoga without doing all of that. And I love the movement in a flow. So I think that's the best part for me, is like, it's not choppy. It's one big flow.
Yoga's kind of like music in that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
As soon as you were saying that, I was like, wow, that's music. That is like, because you can have some things that, you know, you can go to the extremes of music. And I'm sure did you see a schemic? Did you ever watch me play drums?
I think I've seen videos, but I have not seen you haven't seen me live. Play. No.
So one thing I found with the schemic that, again, I can kind of relate back to yoga, was that it could be this really intense position of my arms just going as fast as they can burn. Mm-hmm. But then other times it was like a dance where it was very, very almost jazzy.
Yeah.
And I like how in both, even just like in that little experience within a band to yoga and what you would like what you do for a session or what you do over multiple sessions, it's incredible that.
Well, even that, like what you're describing, while you used to play drums, right?
I still play that.
Well, I mean, in the band as
well.
Yeah. But that almost is like that sense of meditation when you're in so deep where it's just kind of like feels like it's automatic, right? So, and that's what yoga can also be like. That physical movement in yoga can be that moving meditation, particularly when we connect it to breath. And that's always the goal, right? But like when you're connecting your movement, your inhales and exhales to your movements, then that's where it becomes that moving meditation. And
that's kind of where I'm gonna wrap up with the last thing was I found when I was doing these extreme things, playing music and doing it at things that I found difficult to play, when I took that breath back and I took that step and I was like, okay, let's just breathe. It's just music. It's supposed to be fun. I could really center myself on what I was doing. Now, I thought alcohol also did that as well. Sometimes I'd be like, yeah, just another beer will make this better and easier. No. But what would you say if you had to pinpoint one part of what you do in a day? What is like the fundamental, most Shreeya thing you do?
Be late for work. I think that's the most fundamental Shreeya thing I do, is be late for work. Like somebody like if you show up at 8:55, someone's gonna be like, what are you doing here? You okay? Yeah. Did someone die? If anybody needs any tips on how to mask that you're at work while you're not actually at work, reach out. Okay. You got tips? Okay, if you work in an office setting. What do you just? I'm at the copier. Where are you? Oh, you're at the warehouse. You know what? Just come up to the copier. Then they call you back. I said I was gonna come to the warehouse. Where did you go? You went to the. I said to wait at the warehouse. Just okay. Just wait where you are, and then just not go. Yeah, until just you don't show up. Which cooler are you at? Oh, yes.
that was really fun. Thank you so much for coming in. I'm glad I hope you had a good time.
I did. I didn't even realize where the time went, and this is a great experience, and I'm glad I get to be a part of all the people that have been on the podcast now.
Yes, and which also means you are now part of that exclusive club that gets to come back.
Yes.
Because until you show up the first time, you can't come back.
You know what I want to talk about next time is yoga breathing.
We'll
continue with it.
Yes.
But
it'll just be our continual conversation. We'll keep it. That's awesome. I'm very excited. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm really glad. I hope. Do you have anything you want to put out to the people who are listening? Anything you want to say? Yeah,
sure. If anybody is interested in trying a yoga class, I teach a free one it's Saturdays now, Saturday 9:30, so it is early. It's free to sign up. You just have to create an account with Welcome Home. No credit card information required. Super easy. So the link is in my Instagram bio, which is just shreeya.yoga. So find me and sign up for a class if you want to try. If you don't like it, you don't have to come back.
Thank you so much again for coming in. This has been a great time. And for Friday, March 25th, I'm Chad Jones. This is Journeys, and I will talk to you on another time.